Well, we've had a fantastic trip back from Belfast International Airport, and we're back where the story ended, which is in Portnoo. Beautiful. We thought we would start again on the Wild Atlantic Way in Portnoo. It's got an absolutely spectacular beach. And what makes it special is that at low tide, you can probably see behind me, there is a little island, and at low tide the sea parts and people actually walk across and have a stroll around the island. Tide's out for a couple of hours, and we're going to do that tomorrow morning. It's 6 o'clock, the tide should be at its lowest, so we're going to pop out in the morning.
Leaving the van truly behind us, and in Portnoo there's an island opposite the beach which, when the tide goes out, you can walk across to the island. So that is exactly what we're doing. And this morning Marianne looked last night to see what time low tide was, and we set the alarm for 5, and I think that she got it wrong and it was high tide.
I did. I completely misunderstood the information. So but I've got coffee and breakfast this morning whilst we walk across the beach.
So we're going to try and go. The locals warned us to make sure we don't get stuck on it because the tide comes in very quickly. So yeah, it should be fun. So we're off over to the island. So far so good, the tide is out, and we're making our way across, although it does look like it's all the way out, so that means it's coming back in soon. Amazing. So the sea has parted around us. Actually walking across to the island, and we're nearly there, but there is still some water. It hasn't quite gone out, so expect your shoes to get a bit wet. Luckily I wore my sandals. It's freezing. We've started exploring the island. Apparently, the local guy in the pub last night said that there is actually a church on the island. I'm not sure exactly where that is. You just got to be a little bit careful with the tide coming in, and we're not sure what time the tide is due to come in. So they did say apparently there is a boat that will take you back if you get stuck, because I'm sure they're used to tourists getting stuck on the island. But it's beautiful. It's dry. The sun isn't shining today, but it hasn't spoilt the view at all, as you can see.
So we were really lucky enough to meet up with a group of French guys that we met last night at the pub, and one of the locals has offered to show them around, and he was just telling us that this is called the church pool, this area, because there's the ruin of the old church, and this is a nice little area in front which is just known as the church pool. This guy also teaches boat building, and he was telling us that this little white boat, the closest one to the shore, is one of his that he taught someone how to build. Amazing. And was this a
sailing ship?
A sailing ship?
Yeah, well, from Liverpool to Bermuda. They had a cargo of tiles for Bermuda. And
was it like roofing tiles?
No, floor tiles.
Oh, floor
and
tiles.
they were about 12 inches wide, 12 inches square, and about that thick.
Oh, right, okay.
And that is some of the tiles.
Oh, wow.
Right, okay.
And how long ago was that?
1803.
Oh, 1800, long time ago.
Beautiful.
Flying low under the radar.
Up until the 11th century, this was a Christian church, But actually, from that moment on, the Roman Catholics had much bigger input, and it actually became a Catholic church. Also, I found out that the Pope aided and assisted for Ireland to be invaded, so it would be controlled by the English, by the British, and that carried on until their independence in 1922, which actually isn't that long ago.
Like a nighthawk stealth plane, you are hiding out in the shadows, keeping from the light of day.
Oh, there's a pillow.
It's not bad.
It's great.
Yes, I tell you.
So what is this called?
St. Conal's bed.
So our guide was explaining to us that this particular gravestone is from one of his relatives who died in the 17th century, and there's a marking on the grave which indicates that he died of an infectious disease, and this picture of a face basically means never to dig the grave up because he had an infectious disease. Fascinating. So a lot of people thought that when there was a face with the cross that it was actually the grave of a pirate, but that isn't actually the case. It was the infectious disease.
Now there's the sun,
Yeah.
and there's the horse here. There's the horse's head. You can see the head.
Oh yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, and then his legs. See,
Yeah.
his legs, and then there's the cross here.
Oh yeah, you can see the
And
cross.
here then, there was a swan.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah. You can see it.
Yeah, and there's another swan.
Amazing.
Nobody should